Hi everyone. To be honest, I'm super happy to be here in Romania because when I started my career, it was only 5 years ago, and this guy Explain gave me my first speech to invite me here in Romania to speak. So 5 years after, I'm being here in front of all of you guys, and I'm very blessed to be here, very happy. So mulțumesc, Oleg, and everyone. Okay. So basically today I'm going to talk about innovation, digitalization in our industry, which is insurance. And us at RGA, we are a reinsurer, and we do mainly life and health insurance, but we're going to try to go about everything here in this presentation. Be in mind that I will be doing kind of innovation, but also digitalization in the meantime. So don't get confused. And before that, I want to start with this question that I'm sure all of you know: is what does it mean to be digital? This is something that we always talk in our business meeting. Yeah, we need to go for digitalization, we need to do this and blah, blah, blah. We need to use WhatsApp, but the real question is, what does it mean to be digital for organizations? And to answer to that, I believe there is three main elements in the digitalization world. The first one is the social business. Let me give you an example. You know, maybe like 5 or 10 years ago, when you were meeting someone in a kind of conference like that, and the guy was handling his business card to you, one of the things that you were always doing is to check the website of the company, right? So you always go and say, okay, I don't know this guy, I don't know his company, but I'm going to go for check his website. And then you go, you check the website, and there's no website. So you say, oh, this guy doesn't have as a company, no website. No, for me, it doesn't make sense. This is what is happening today with social media, with many organizations. And I still know in Europe, many organizations that still don't use social media to do business with their people. And the numbers are crazy. 80% of the people say they want to do business with someone who doesn't use social media. So first of things, when we talk about digital in our business is, first, being social. The other element is the new clients. We're observing new trends. I'm speaking now and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 people using the mobile phone while I'm speaking now. This is the new client, is always connected. It doesn't mean that it doesn't care about my pitch, but it also cares about the email that you're receiving now. So other element is the client always connected. One thing that we are seeing as well are the data. So basically, in the last 2 years, we have created more data than in the whole history. What does it mean for us? It means that the client is really willing to share data with the organization that we are, and also us as an organization, we're also willing to provide data to the people. So when you thought about digital, think of social, new clients, and data. The other good way to understand digitalization is to look at the studies that made MIT and Capgemini, the French consulting company. Basically, they look at many organizations worldwide, not only insurance, but also industry as well, and they define them in 4 types of profile. One that you can see up here is fashionista. Then we got digital master, beginners, and conservative. What does it mean here? What I really like here is if you look at conservative down here, it means that the people have a strong vision to elaborate and to design a digital strategy. But in the meantime, they may not have the capabilities, financially talking, they may not have all the people in IT as well to develop a strong digital company. But they still have the vision, and they still want to achieve it and have a great management doing it. And when we look at this slide, what we see here in parentheses is the profitability of the business. So the company that have a strong vision and strong leadership thinking about digital are more productive and more profitable than companies that don't have this. And in the meantime, we can look here what we have, the fashionista, or companies that they have all the IT system, all the money that they can to develop digital product and etc., but they're still less profitable than the others. Digital is about vision and great leadership as well. So my little definition about digital, it's the one that I found here with Eduardo Galeano, who's talking about utopia. And basically when he's saying that, it means that you have to go step by step, forward and forward to succeed anything that you want to achieve. And digital transformation is about that. It's not one step and then I stop and say, oh, now I'm a digital person and that's it. It's not the same for our organization, but it's about how can I do more and more to be closer to the customer, to be more social, and to improve more my data management and the use of my data in general. And also, when we look at digital, we can see it's the best. I will give you an example. Look at 2006. I don't know if anyone like football here. Can anyone like football? Raise your hand if you love it. Yeah? So 2006, do you remember the final of the World Cup? Yeah? You remember it was Zidane giving this headbutt to Materazzi. Does it look like a long time ago for you? It looked like yesterday, right? It really looked like yesterday. So at the same time, when Zidane was doing it, we were looking at the market. The main organization were Exxon, General Electric, Total, Microsoft, and Citi, not digital-based company. And it really looks like yesterday. But today, this time has changed. The company leading the market cap now are Apple, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook. Digital is definitely the best bet for our organization. Also, one element that you can see, it's very short, you can already see very well, but basically there's one thing that's very important here is about the data. Before, we were organization, we had our big challenges was how we can store and manage our data. Today it has changed. It's not more about this. It's more about how can I use this data as profitable for my organization. There is a bank in Spain called BBVA. What they do is, if you're a client and you want to launch a business, let's say an hairdresser business, for example, you go to the bank and tell them, oh, you know, I want to launch this business here in Bucharest. And the bank look at what you want to do, what type of client you're targeting, and they tell you, oh, what you want to do here, I can tell you that Bucharest is not the best city for that. Because you can do it in Cluj, because all of our clients, we have seen the way that they use their credit card and etc., they want an hairdresser more in Cluj. So these companies, they are able to take in information that they have about their clients, business client, retail client, to bring an information to an entrepreneur when he wants to launch a business. This is what we have to do now. We have to be able to store our data. That's fine. We are cloud. It's very easy to do that. But now we need to transform this data to something positive. All elements that we've seen are three main challenges or threats that we see in our market. First, we observe that we go from protection to risk prevention. And there's many organizations that use data very well that I call the data company that are taking our customer through that. The other element is the power of data and analytics. So the data company, when I talk about data company, it could be Facebook, could be Amazon, it could be many others, Zappos, for example, in the shoes industry. Those companies, they have so much information about customers and they know how to use it that they're able to attract the best profile for the business. The other element is the online trust. Today, everyone does it. Anytime that you want to go to a restaurant, you check it online to see the restaurant is good or not. Everyone to go on travel somewhere, you always do it, you check the hotel and etc. And this is the situation where the customers are today. So we need to be careful about that and know that there's those kind of organizations that are going to attack our markets. Not because they're going to be our direct competitors, but it's because the experience and the way that they're offering services to the customer is changing and is going to affect the way that customer would expect us to work with them. So basically, there's a complex journey for us when we talk about digital in insurance. And this is the little chart I have made here for you to understand a bit where you are and where you're standing. And we look at digitalization. Basically, in our industry, we start with social and customer interaction. That's the very first big step that we have to take. Then we go to mobile and applications. When I say mobile and application, doesn't mean that if you have an app, you're very digital. It means that at least your website and your services are adapted to the mobile. That's a very important point. Then we offer internet transactions, okay, to our customer, ability to buy a policy online, to trade the policy online, and etc. And then we go to omni-channel. You were talking, Michael, about companies looking for full digitalization and forgetting about the sales teams. This is, for me, one of the biggest mistakes the market is doing now. We need to think of omni-channels. How can I make sure that my customer can go on the website, but also talk to an agent and so on. And the last point is our ability to offer real-time products. Real-time product, meaning that at any time you can get insured for anything that you're looking for. So after defining a bit what is digital in our industry, let's talk about insurance and the future. So when we talk about the future of insurance, it's very important to understand the ecosystem in which we are finding ourselves. And as ecosystem, it's crazy. It's all of that. So we say AI, it's something very popular. IoT, you talk about it just before, Michael, the data, the medtech, and all of that. And this is all of this element that we are seeing, which is not directly touching our industry yet, but is all around our industry. We need to take advantage of that and bring new services. Let me ask you this question, for example. How many of you wake up this morning with an alarm clock? Can you just raise your hand? Alarm clock. Not with the mobile alarm clock.
Yes, I have my alarm clock.
Michael, you're amazing. Michael has an alarm clock. The rest of you know. And you know what's happening in this industry is, let's say you are the founder of an alarm clock company and you're seeing your business going down and down and down. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what's happened? It's not working, my business is not working. So you take your car, let's say a Mercedes, like Michael bought, and then you go to visit your competitors' houses and etc. and manufacturers, and you see that they're also firing people. No one is coming. No one is selling, and you say, oh, there's an issue. And Michael said again before, you talked about the Chinese production, right? So you decide to take your flight from Romania, going to China to say, oh, if I'm not producing in Romania, certainly the Chinese are doing it cheaper. And you arrive to China, and still no one is producing alarm clock. And you don't understand what's going in your market. Because one thing that has come is a mobile phone. And this is not your industry, basically, but it's the ecosystem around your industry. It's something that people have created for communication, but also are killed totally your industry. So when we talk about ecosystem in insurance, we need to be aware of that. It might not come by, I'm seeing every time in the press, Amazon is going to be the next insurer. Maybe, I don't know about that. But it's not about Amazon being an insurer. It's about all of this full ecosystem that we are seeing today, how we can take advantage of this to create new solutions, new services to our clients. One thing as well that we see is the real change of insurance. This real change of insurance is a system where today we just have some contact with our clients. There is one situation I like to describe. It's when, I call it the war, like the Cold War, like the real Cold War, where an agent meets an insurer. When an agent meets a client and say, oh, you want this policy, I will, okay, you will sign up for the life insurance policy, for example, and the client say yes. At this point, they are both in the same room, and the client is signing the contract, and then the agent signs the contract. And between two of them, they just look deep in the eyes, and you know that this look, it's about like the agent saying, please, dear client, never call me, because if you call me, it means that you have a claim, so that's bad for me. And the client as well, in the meantime, looking at the agent say, please don't call me, because you know if your client, an agent call you, it's because it's going to increase the cost of your policy. So there's kind of the cold war between the agent of an insurance company and the client that drive us today to having more or less 1, 2, maybe some great organization have 3 contacts per year with the client. And this is a big issue. And this is what we're doing today. We don't have engagement and conversation with our client. And this is what does it mean for our business. So today insurance, when we talk about risk management, and etc., that's kind of sorry for that. It's kind of bullshit because we don't do the risk management properly. What we're doing today is we're reducing the financial impact for the customers. So if I have a health insurance policy, I know that because of this company, and instead of paying 100 euros, I'm going to pay 20 euros. So basically the insurance policy today is just to reduce the cost, the financial cost that we have. But thanks to the new ecosystem, thanks to the ability to be always connected with IoT, with the frigo or whatsoever, with the fridge, as I said before, whatsoever, we'll be able to know exactly what is the issue of the client, how does it go, and going to help you going create an engagement. So from this perspective, we're going to go from risk, like reducing the financial impact, to the real risk management. We'll be able to take to the client before something happens, please stop for the next 10 days eating this kind of food, okay, do this number of steps, be careful with your car, and etc., and etc. So this is how the ecosystem will impact our industry. And this ecosystem is something where we need to find our industry right in the middle. Do you know Maya Insurance? Anyone knows it? That's good, because no one raised his hand. Maya Insurance is just the name of my niece, and I remember I was traveling and I did a presentation and I asked, like 5 people just raised their hand. I was like, that doesn't exist. Why are you saying that? So it was kind of funny. So basically the example I want to give you here today is to say, if we succeed to have our organization in the middle, and succeed to connect to an ecosystem, I just put some brands here, but if we succeed to connect to an ecosystem to get the enough good data for our customer, we're going to create a great value. So think of how you can put your insurance product or company in the middle of the client journey and bring him his value. The real good thing for insurance today is how can we make sure that insurance is just part of the journey. It's not something very crucial. It is always crucial, but not the main things for the customers, but just part of his journey. And if we succeed to create this huge ecosystem, being in the middle of that, we're going to find a great value in insurance and really change our industry. And for that, I will give you this example. For example, with Google. They're not doing it yet, but they can do it. So let's say it's raining. Okay, I know it happens sometimes here in Romania. So Google tell me, hi Emmanuel, it's raining today. You have a meeting 10 kilometers from now. I know normally you take the bus to go to your meetings, but you know, it's raining, so it's kind of dangerous for you. Do you want a car? I say yes. The Uber comes, I get into the Uber, I arrive to the meeting, I receive the bill. This is something that Google can say, because they know where you live, they know the weather, they can be connected with Uber. Very simple, very easy. So what's happened if in insurance we're able to do something similar? So basically we know that when it's raining, the risk of accidental is higher. Not only for drivers, but also for people, for pedestrians, right? So let's say I get out of my house and they say, oh, Emmanuel, it's raining today. You don't have any accidental cover. Do you want an accidental cover protection for all of the day only for 2 euros? It's nothing. I say yes. I get insured by the company, and that's it. It looks crazy, but when you really think of that, it's something that you can do. It's just about connecting the dots and having the data. So the example, for example, we can see here is AXA that has done something with blockchain. So they have a policy that they call FIDSI, it's a startup in France. And basically what you do with that is when you get your flight from Paris to New York, is the flight has more than 2 hours, 2 hours of arrive late, more than 2 hours. Basically what is you will get a refund from AXA. So it's really simple. What they have done, they already connected it to the blockchain platform, and then they have all the information about the flight late. A very simple product and a very value for the customers. So we're seeing a lot of change in our industry. Our product launch is going to reduce. We're going to move from every 9 months to go to frequently and etc. So this is kind of the big change that we're seeing in the industry that could happen thanks to all of the ecosystem that we saw before. So key thing that you have to learn on that one is we are moving from an unknown risk to a predictive reality. Product focus. I saw that the first presentation was about how we can make sure that we're going to change our focus on product and more on the client side. And the other thing is digitalization aims to reduce the profitability of loss for the customers. But after say that, the question is, it is good to talk about digital, is it good to see that there is a great ecosystem, but what about our client? Do they really want to be digital, or if people say that? Are they really ready to do that? So here there is a study from LIMRA. It's in the United States, but man, there's always a margin of error that you can look at this. And when we asked the customer about using digital product, and this year, for example, is especially for life insurance. So we see that 80%, nearly 80% of the customers are already ready to use digital as a service or to buy a product online. So we have here 21% say no, I would always prefer to sit with an agent and that's it. And then we got 52% that say, oh, I either go with a client, with an agent, or I go directly digital. And the other part say, please just bring me the digital platform here. So the client are ready for that. I don't know how many of you have a full digital process yet implemented, but really think of how the client is ready to do that. And even though before to think of your client, think of yourself, of the commodity of that. I can give you an example. So let's say, well, not let's say, I work for RGAX, okay? So I come here down to Romania, and my contract with RGAX said, any business contract that I can make, basically I will take 10% of that. It's not true, but let's imagine that, okay? So before to get to the plane, my wife called me and say, oh, Emmanuel, you know, I have a great news for you. You're going to be dad. I was like, oh, my life just changed. Before to get the plane, I'm going to be dad. So that's changed a lot for me. So I get into the plane, I arrive to the meeting, and I just sign up a huge deal of 10 million with an insurance company, having 10%, meaning that I'm getting 1 million. Correct, right? Not good with maths. But I guess these days. So just the time of getting my flight, signing up the contract, I'm going to be a dad, and I worth 1 million. So basically I work in the industry. What are the first things I'm going to do? Sign up for a life insurance policy. But what is the reality today? There is almost no insurance company offering the ability to buy a life insurance policy online. So basically a customer like that works 1 million, we want to buy a life insurance policy, today we cannot serve it in the market. And I'm not talking about the Romanian market, I'm talking about almost all the European market. There's almost no one selling life insurance policy online, and this is a big issue for our clients. So what we have done at RGA is say, okay, well, if you cannot do that, let's just believe that we can divide something. And what we have seen is the customer are using phones every time. Even when I'm speaking, I'm still seeing like people using the phones for taking pictures, for answer to emails, for whatsoever. And we say, oh, how can we track this? So we design a product that can be sold online with a specific experience. I don't know, yeah, it's moving, you can see how very quickly you can buy a policy online. So we share the presentation for you. We don't have to see all of that, but basically we have said, okay, if something had happened, we are going to build something, and this is something possible for the market, possible to develop something that you can say, well, I will buy it online. So talking about the customer being ready to use the digital transformation, let's talk about kind of an insurtech. So very important when we talk about InsurTech for you to understand there is basically three types of InsurTech. There is one we call the challengers, integrators, and collaborators. The challengers InsurTech are the InsurTech that decide to set up as an insurance company going to compete directly with you, as we can see Alan, for example, for health in France. The integrators are companies that have a great digital solution. For example, I think there's Fris here today who's going to talk. They have a great solution, and what they're going to do is to integrate the solution to your platform to improve your services. The element that we see are the collaborators that usually are large brokers that are looking to disrupt the market and bring you a value. So think always of this strict kind of category for the InsurTech world. Element that we see as well in terms of selling online, this is a few startups that we have been working on worldwide. For example, in Germany, working with GetSurance, which is one of the well-known now startups selling life insurance online. We work with ULife in the UK, Utune in France, Fabric and Eto. So all of these companies, we have been helping them by financing them or helping them with the underwriting policies. And then, if I talk about insurance innovation and I don't talk about the millennials, people will say, oh, you forget the fabulous word, right? And every time you say, it's so funny, every time I get in a meeting in insurance, I say, oh, I know millennials, people are like, wow, you know them. Can you tell about it? and it's really funny. But when we look at the insurance industry, and what millennials thinks, they're looking for a specific type of product. On-demand insurance, we talked about it a bit before. They're also looking for simple transaction, looking for simple interaction with the customers. I will ask you a question. How many of you have ever taken a plane? Not much. You never take a plane, or you don't want to raise your hand? Come on, raise your hand. It's very easy. So, all the people that took a plane, how many of you have ever had a bad experience with an airline? Almost everyone that raised a hand. And when we ask the same question to the millennials, the people who are switching life insurance or insurance companies, and they say, did you have a bad experience with an insurance organization? Only 3% say, yes, they had a bad insurance. The bad experience with insurance. What does it mean? It means that we're not doing that bad. We're doing positive stuff for the industry, positive for our client. We need to keep this in mind because the customer at the end, they have still the satisfaction, but we need to improve our relation with them. And if you want to sell life insurance to the millennials, if you want to sell insurance to the millennials, we need to think of these three things. If we can provide services that include the give back, this is something very popular in insurance today. If we have a mobile-first platform as well, and if we support what we said before, the risk prevention, the ability to offer services that will protect the customer before the risk happen, and also if we think of all the pocket insurance opportunities that we have. And having said that, I will close to say these little things, none around about a life insurance policy because everything has changed, everything is more digital. Thank you so much for your time.